Now penguin farts?
Yes. Now.
Indeed. Penguin farts to all. Hey, internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is our Kids on Bikes RPG. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. This is session 9, New Kids on the Block. Oh, 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 Rio. Oh, wait, that's Weird Al.
Stop it.
That's all I can ever actually hear. And actually, that song I think is from the 90s, not relevant to this time period. Although, what is time when we're talking about you kids, right?
Yes, it doesn't mean anything.
So this is our 9th episode, but it's also the beginning of a brand new arc. If you want to get caught up on these kids on bikes here, see what they've been up to. If you missed any episodes or you're brand new tonight or to this game, head on over to youtube.com/mini terrain domain, where VODs of this and every game are available, usually within the first week that they've aired. Now is a great time to tell you also to look up above Tomiko over there, where you can see Terrain Treats Domain Pops +1 to fun.
Yay!
Domain Pops are a way that you, the audience, can have a little bit of an impact on the game. It's as simple as cheering 500 bits, tipping $5, subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, whatever it may be. You can do that to earn domain pops for these players. We already have 2 more that have appeared. You're up to 24 domain pops. They currently work as an adversity token. You can stack them to improve your rolls when those situations come up. And you can, in the future, I'll be looking at new ways that we can use those in new and exciting ways. Carrie, I'm thinking kind of aligning them like Mythos dice. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing will remain to be seen. But I want them to have sort of a lot more than just that. I want to have more reason for us to spend them and use them. There we go.
Yay!
All right. Let's see, what else do I have? Quick announcements before we play this game. Check out our schedule, exclamation point schedule, to see what is going on the channel. Of course, on Monday nights we have Scribes and Scrolls, our Pathfinder 2nd Edition game.
Woo!
Where such things as, they spent about 5 weeks real world gaming time to get through about 1 day in game. Jeremy and Ted know that feeling from back in the day. I think we spent 3 months on a 24-hour time period once in Dawnbringers, so it happens.
Well, I mean, we had the one room, one door kind of.
Oh yeah, it was for a long time. It was a question of how many doors and rooms did they get through this game, and that started all the way back at the beginning. It's a good thing there's no doors to contend with in this game, right?
That'd be silly.
Of course, this Tuesday we had our 2nd episode of Sky Metal Iron Gods, another Pathfinder game in which I am a player, but we have our amazing game master Vi, and another great group of players. You can check that out. The 2nd episode has already been posted. Coming up next month or the following month, we're working out the schedule now, but approximately once a month, is Mythos Tales. It is our Call of Cthulhu game series, and the current series is Lawlerville, an original Call of Cthulhu scenario by Ricky Wells from Scribes and Scrolls, an incredible master of Call of Cthulhu horror, just nightmare fuel stuff. Ricky's a little too good at it, if I'm being honest. And then, of course, on Thursday nights, you're here for Kids on Bikes. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. And then we are working on our next schedule. This is not an MTD game, but I do produce and play along with Ted in our brand new The Old Guard D&D campaign with Robin as our Dungeon Master, Frag, Asa, Ted, myself. Excellent. Absolutely love that new game as well. Lots of great stuff going on. And I've mentioned it before, and I'm going to mention it again. Please check out Erasmus Expeditions on YouTube, Jeremy's channel. Jeremy, go ahead and plug that in the chat if you would like to send a link there. Jeremy has amazing campaigns and games going on of all different varieties. And if you pay attention now and subscribe and turn on your notifications, you just might see at least a couple of us over there in the next month or so. With that, I just have one more thing to mention before we start playing, and that is, of course, a reminder that you matter. Your presence here on this earth makes a difference, whether or not you believe it. It is true. Listen, there's a lot of reasons why you could be struggling. It doesn't matter what those reasons are. There's a couple things you need to know about it. First off, if you're struggling, if you're not okay, it's okay. It's okay to have those feelings and to feel that way. But the second thing, and the more important thing, is you do not need to be alone in your struggle. There are resources available for you, people to talk to, and if you're like me, before I sought therapy over 3 years ago for anxiety and depression, you didn't know where to turn to. All you have to do, if you're here and you're hearing this message, you can either pay attention to the bottom of the stream window here if you're watching on the VOD, or you can type !help. That will, in our Twitch chat here, that will bring up a couple of URLs. They are findahelpline.com, and you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. Those are incredible sites with lots of great resources. So we encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to Paradise, Michigan. It is 1980 something. And you all have been here before. A little over 24 hours ago, in fact, you all met for the first time. You got up to quite a bit of exploring on that first day, just in those first few hours, including mysterious interactions with cats, tinted window muscle cars, local yokel police officers, a not at all creepy local church pastor who emerged from a door in the bottom of a grave, and his groundskeeper. Let alone why you kids decided the first thing you wanted to do while you were in town was investigate the grave robberies that you heard about. A montage as you rode around town, taking in the sights, stopping at Page's bookstore, where you met three very nice, lovely women who run the shop. And immediately that's where things got really weird. You wound up chasing through impossibly long hallways, through long hallways of doors, ending up traversing nearly a quarter mile to the beach, to the lighthouse, finding a trap door in the lighthouse, also finding a map in the lighthouse, but finding a trap door that when you went through, you wound up in an inverse version of Paradise, Michigan, 100 years in the past, as a ship known as the Evangeline, a schooner, hauling goods from way up north in Lake Superior down to supposedly on its way to Chicago. It shipwrecked in a storm. You met the members of the crew of this ship, and along the way discovered that one of them was a woman going to meet her sisters in Chicago to sell books, open up a bookstore. You also realized that the crates of apples and pears and whatnot actually had silver bars in them, silver ingots. And of course, naturally, upon seeing the rich stuff, you kids decided it would be a good idea to steal some. So the great baseball player that she is, Rosie, instead of stealing first, second, or third, or home, just stole all 3 bars that she could get her hands on, because you were distracted when Coop decided, hey, I need a distraction, and a giant crocodile monster appeared and started to attack. Eventually, you all ran into the lighthouse, some of you helping to train the light on the creature, making it vanish, while others of you were able to go through the now available trap door. You all fell through a void and then awoke in your own beds. In our last episode, there was a bizarre sequence, not entirely sure where it fits in your own timeline, but you were all individually interrogated by mysterious forces and mysterious people to various degrees of success, if we could call it that. And now here we are. Once again, it is your first day in Paradise, Michigan. And I'm going to roll a die.
Whoa.
Well, let's see.
Anticipation.
We start at the top as red to Coop. You, last you remember, you were with the alligator. You fell through a void. And then you woke up back in your grandparents' bed after arriving just the day before in the bed they've provided for you in what is your room for the summer. Coop, as you open your eyes and you feel that sense of disorientation as you're looking around, not quite sure, and then realizing, oh, okay. What do you do, Coop?
Coop wakes up, realizes that he is back at Grandma's house, and is now a little concerned because he doesn't remember how he got there. He has no idea that this is, like, we as the players know that this is kind of like a redo to the first day. Coop has no idea, so he's like scratching his head, like, I don't know what happened after the trap door. How did I get here? What? And he checks his backpack. He looks in his backpack to see if he's still got his he checks his pocket to see if he's still got his meteorite, and he checks his backpack to see if his mixtape's still broken.
The rock is not in your pocket because you are wearing the pajamas you went to bed in when you first arrived. But it is in your backpack, along with the book of rocks that you purchased at the bookstore. And as you're digging around in there, you pull out pieces of broken cassette case from your mix tapes that got ran over. And you can even see, as you hold it up, the faint lines of the tire tracks on the outside of your backpack.
Ooh. It really happened. This is a cruel, cruel summer indeed. So if all of this really happened, how did I get home?
I have an
Nana?
even more important question for you by way of chat. What kind of pajamas does Coop wear?
Oh, what a magnificent question. I actually think it's it's one of those pajama sets, like with the linen, not flannel, because it's summer.
Right.
So it's got the little short sleeves and the little button down the little button-down shirt and the drawstring pants, and they've got dinosaurs.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Amazing.
Amazing. You call out
Very-
to Nana,
Nana Bee?
and there is no answer.
Nana Bee? And Coop just kind of shuffles through the house, looking in rooms, opening doors.
And as you're doing so, and as you pass by the door frame of one of the rooms, we are in Rosie's grandparents' house. Rosie, same thing.
Mhm.
You awaken in your bed.
I guess.
Same question. What kind of pajamas does Rosie wear? I'm going to ask you all this question now.
Yeah, Rosie wears a probably like a football jersey. It's like a little bit long, and honestly, that'd probably be.
So yeah, and a 14-year-old kid, that's like a dress.
He wears it on like it's like a nightgown practically because it's made to be long anyway.
For the Michigan Wolverines, right?
No, obviously the Detroit Lions. Definitely not the Wolverines. But anyway, so yeah, she just kind of like sits up, and the same kind of thoughts are going through her head, like trying to figure out if this was like all a dream, and her eyes shoot wide, and she like jumps out of bed, like almost like when you miss the alarm, and she's looking everywhere for her bat.
As soon as you put your feet down on the floor, you feel a sharp poke in your foot.
Ah, shit.
It's a splinter of wood.
And I look, is it my bat?
You look down, and as you look down to the floor where you've just put a small sliver into your foot,
Damn it.
you realize it's the very what shouldn't actually be that old, because Twilight Grove Retirement Community does not seem to be very old. It seems to be relatively new construction. But this hardwood floor, for whatever reason, when you put your foot down, you step on a splinter of a rough piece of wood. And as you bend down to look at it, you see just tucked under the edge of the bed is your bat, intact where you left it.
Sweet. Mwah. Okay. And Rosie would just kind of sit on the bed for a second and just sort of kind of take inventory and like think about all that just happened and whether or not it was real. And she kind of like I imagine there's like those kind of gossamer like curtains on the, because it's an old people's house, and she would just kind of like look like through the window and see if everything outside, see if she sees any of these kids that she maybe knows, but like just trying to kind of confirm.
As you look out the window, you raise your arm to push it aside, and there is a slight soreness in your arm, just real faint, like you just were swinging the bat a few too many times. And as you pull the curtain aside to look out and look into the neighborhood, we cut to Billy. Now, we already kind of saw you get up in your room at the end of the 8th session, where you got up and the wind was sort of blowing through the curtains, and that's sort of this transition as Rosie opens the curtain. We're in Billy's room, and we see as Billy comes running up to look through this backpack and find the telescope and the map and the 3 bars of silver. As we pan up from your hand holding on to these things, what kind of pajamas is Billy wearing?
Transformers.
Nice. And Billy, what are you doing as you see all this stuff?
So, I have no recollection how I got here. We got stuff that, clearly, tells me where we've been. And he has these vague recollections, yes, no, of our time spent being questioned.
For all of you, the time that you spent being questioned, the longer you're awake, the more it feels like a barely remembered dream.
So that's what I thought. So, given that, Billy has spent some time, being smart. I'm certain he's got access to a notebook where he's got ideas and things. So he turns to a blank page and he starts writing down as much as he can remember. I mean, he's got the map, and the silver, and the spyglass. So that part he's going to be able to do, but he's going to jot down different bits of information about his friends and about his memory of the interrogation. And he's gonna write down the couple bits of things that it sound like he slipped, like the guy slipped, like the specific line of, I thought you'd be better friends after all you've been through, meaning to Jessica and the three women being witches. So he's gonna have these things written down to be able to kind of look at, and then he's gonna put the pencil and the notebook in his backpack, get ready, and go outside.
As you're writing down and remembering this stuff, it's very reminiscent of a young Ethan Hawke in Explorers as he awakens from his dream of the giant circuit board and is trying to draw it. And when you get to those parts about trying to remember those things that were said, it's just like when he gets kind of stuck on what was the last part of the drawing, and you got most of it there, but you're struggling to make any connections with that. And as you close your notebook and gather your stuff to head outside, we are going to head over to right off the bat, to Oak. Oak, of course, the most...
Listen, we're Coke now, okay? We're just Coke.
Yes.
Okay?
Listen, Ted and Jeremy are just sitting back and reveling that at least I'm not messing up their names.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, they spent years as Talmud and Thorgarn. Of course I was going to mess those up. Now we got Coop and Oak, two one-syllable names.
Listen, we're an American classic, okay?
But are we classic or new?
We're new. Oh God, new Coke.
Oh.
I don't know if new Coke is out in the 80s yet. Was it? Was new Coke?
It was in the 80s.
Oh man.
Did you say weird Coke?
Or no, clear. Oh no, it was
Yeah.
clear.
No, that was Pepsi.
That was Pepsi. You're the
Yep.
Ted said you're the young ones. You have to be new Coke.
We have to be new Coke.
Fantastic.
Okay.
So
Fair.
Oak, the important question everybody wants to know is, what are Oak's pajamas?
Okay, Oak's pajamas. It's funny because I believe I thought about this for a long time. No joke. That literally when I was creating the character, I thought about what would he wear.
This is an important piece of his personality, I feel like. All of us.
It's Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones pajamas.
Oh.
It looks like the top part of the PJ looks like that traditional white short sleeve shirt, but then it's got a bunch of Indiana Jones patterning, little hats and the whip lassos and stuff.
Oh.
And then it just transitions into a set of the brown slack pants that are just sweats. So he looks like he's set to constantly go adventure. He might also get that from his archaeologist grandmother or whatever. He knows that that's something that's a part of who he is. So when he wakes up, it is chaos, absolute chaos, night terror level chaos. When he wakes up, I think in the absolute forefront of his mind, he's trying to remember all of the possible memories that he can hold on to. One of them specifically is the anger that he had for Laz. For some reason, that it's raging, and in fact, like I feel like he might even scream a little bit when he comes awake. Not only from the Drider vision, but Laz as well, like just angry and also scared. So he immediately jumps out of bed, probably alerting his grandparents in the house. He kind of stays up in the attic space because of the way this house is. It's a one floor rambler, but it has a small attic space. Inside it, there's 2 beds, and he has like that little circular attic window that he can look out of from above. And so I imagine he gets out and he starts rummaging through all of his stuff and immediately begins drawing whatever he can. When he starts drawing, it starts off as he wants to draw the Drider, but like you said, not 100% detailed. He can't get that detail, so he realizes it's just a cluster of spiders, just a cluster of spider drawings that have formed a human torso, and like just this weird amalgamation of things that he can hold on to, his positive feelings towards Rosie and Jessica, and like certain things that he was feeling in the moment. That there's like a sticker. He grabs like part from a sticker book and puts like a sticker of a television set because he remembers the TV that was glowing in, you know, certain things that were happening, but none of it makes sense. And like he's trying to piece all of it together, but he can't quite do it. He's got like little buzzwords like just the fear stuff, like stuff about the witches and about the fact that Billy might possibly be a werewolf, like just all of these really like weird and funky things. And if someone read his journal right now, it would not make any sense. But he comes down covered in night sweat to greet his grandparents and just immediately like disheveled, like I need a good ego in my mouth right now to fix my problems.
This is on the edge of being, what's the word I want? Anachronistic for the time period. But you come downstairs very much looking like Kevin in Home Alone on
hell yeah.
As he realizes he's home alone. Your grandparents aren't there.
Oh shit.
In fact, none of you so far that we've seen, as you get up and move about the house, your grandparents are not at home. Any of you that look would eventually find a note, and I imagine this is a great time for a perfect like 4-panel split screen of Coop, Oak, Billy, and Rosie finding somewhere in the house a note that is written on a piece of stationery that says, "Good morning. There's cereal in the cupboard, milk in the fridge, had to run some errands. We'll be back later today. Get out there and explore." Every one of them says essentially the same thing. Not an identical carbon copy, but they're different pieces of paper, different handwriting.
That was going to be my question of, was it word for word exactly the
No.
same?
Yeah, are these Kinko copied? Are
No.
these Kinkos? Because like if that's Kinkos, get that out of here. I don't
This
want
is
that.
very like the beginning of like a Japanese RPG. It's like go out and explore the town.
Yeah.
And
This is Sword Art Online.
Press the left stick to move forward.
I'm okay if they're all handwritten and that kind of stuff, but I think it would be, super creepy if it was word for word their handwriting, but exactly the same thing.
there's a point before you close your notebook, or even, sorry, as you've gone downstairs, Oak, and you've discovered this note, the camera sort of moves away from you and back upstairs to this attic room where you've left this notebook lying open. And there's all these scribbles and drawings and stickers. And at some point in that drawing, there is, it's hard to tell, but it's a figure of a boy written, just drawn in very deep. You can see places where the pencil lead was digging into the paper, and there's a sticker of a skateboard right below it. And as we see that, that's where we cut to Laz. I'm not going to ask you what pajamas you're wearing because you just got into town this morning. You are currently on your skateboard. And you are rolling into the Twilight Grove retirement community based on the simple directions you got from Swifty's fuel and food stop, where the bus dropped you off just a little while ago. We know that you have a white streak that runs through your hair, which is different from the first time we saw you. Is there anything else different about the way you're dressed? Well, actually, there wouldn't be, because I think I described exactly how you were dressed. But I will give you an opportunity to add to or take away from that if there is anything that's different.
For anybody who is paying really close attention, they might notice that there is a friendship bracelet that is missing from his wrist. He has several still, but one is missing.
Excellent. So what are you doing as you come around the corner? And I imagine this, as we see this drawing, we kind of push the camera through the window, open window of the attic, and we see that sort of high angle crane shot. And here comes this kid on skateboard riding into this community that has a large circular shape. There's a large green space in the middle. And this is interesting that it's worked out this way, because I do believe the two of you were may have been the first. I could be wrong on that. Tomiko can correct me with your notes. But Laz, as you're rolling up, you would see Billy coming out the front door.
Okay, so I imagine maybe there's a little bit of an incline that kind of leads into the first part of the neighborhood or something, or it would be a decline coming towards the neighborhood. So Laz has just kind of finished, bombing that hill as best he can, gaining enough speed to, kind of make a wide turn into the neighborhood itself. And he's had that weird sensation, that deja vu of arriving only yesterday, but that can't be the case. He's trying his best to reconcile, to apply logic to the situation, but it's not making any sense, and he's just about given up and realized that it was likely just some kind of fever dream he had on the bus or something of that nature. But then Billy walks out of his grandparents' house, and Laz, I think, without paying attention, coasts on his skateboard straight into the curb and goes ass over tea kettle into the grass.
Oh shit!
Which you absolutely see, Billy.
So he would begin heading in that direction. I imagine he was probably, as soon as he acknowledged that Laz was there, he's not now sprinting, but he would begin moving in that direction. I don't know what anyone else knows. I know this all seems kind of weird, but he's got to try and figure this stuff out, and he's probably moving a little bit slower because he's got 2 bars of silver in his backpack that he's not used to carrying around. But he heads over there. He's like, "You all right? You need help?" And he, there's a momentary pause before he finishes off the sentence with a question. Laz?
He's right in the middle of trying to respond. I'm fine, but he is then called by his name. He kind of looks up. Yeah, Billy?
So you remember too, huh?
No, like, no. What are you talking about? Remember what? I just got here.
Then how do you know my name?
I don't know. Maybe I hit my head and it was just a lucky guess or something.
Sure. So, well, so nice to meet you then, Laz. I am, as you know, Billy. Welcome to
As you know, Billy.
What's going on here?
I feel like we did this all yesterday, and I'm gonna like look down the street to see if there's anything. It was here that we saw the black car with the tinted windows, right?
It
So
was.
I want to look down the road and see if I see it.
You don't.
Look, there's no way that we've done this already. Like, I just got off the bus and skated my ass over here, like just now. So how can both of those things be true?
I don't know. But I
Rosie,
feel like I've already met.
You're looking out the window, and you start to hear voices, and you kind of lean. Your window looks out between two houses, and as you sort of lean and look forward, you see two familiar faces having a conversation out in front of the house.
And you would see Rosie just kind of like looking through this like curtain, be like, "Holy shit!" And then very quickly, like it's hardly any time passes at all, you see Rosie like walking out the front of her grandparents' house, like just barely pulling on pants, and she has on her normal outfit. She's barefoot, but she still walks down the sidewalk here and is just like, "Do I know you two?
Rosie?
Is your name okay? You're Billy, right?"
Yes. Something that you asked me to hold on to.
No shit. Laz. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You normally have like a baseball bat or something?
Yeah. I left it inside. It's fine. Everything's fine. I mean, I had to want to run up to you guys with a bat. People get the wrong idea. But, yeah. I think you do have something that belongs to me, Billy. And I would hold out my hand.
So
Wait.
he would reach into his bag, looking past, trying to see if there's anybody else watching, before he would straight up, pull out the bar of silver, at least the first one, and hand it to you.
Holy shit.
So explain that, Laz.
That's
you
real?
Just got here.
And Rosie would kind of heft it. Be like, "Yeah, I think so."
That's got to be worth at least like a couple $100, right?
Yeah, at least. Problem is, where do we sell it? We can't walk into a pawn shop and be like, "Hey, will you buy this gold or silver bar from us?"
Well, I mean, maybe we should. I mean, it's not quite rock, but metal is pretty close. Should we wait for Coop?
Coop. Yeah, and Rosie would Rosie have seen Coop come out of his house yesterday? Like,
I mean, yeah, because I think at that point,
would she know which house is Coop's somehow?
I mean, it's you guys had enough interaction to know whose house is whose.
There was
Rosie
also
would
the
just
time,
kind- Oh yeah.
when we had to go back to get our bikes, I
Yes.
imagine like everyone but Laz, you know, had to go acquire their wheels.
Sure. So
We didn't
Rosie would
see
just
that.
kind of march across, if it's across the cul-de-sac or wherever, and she would just be like, she would just start like yelling up at Coop's house. Like,
The
hey
door-
kid!
The front door flies open, and Coop's standing there in his pajamas.
Hey, Coop.
Rosie, hi.
Hi, Coop. Do you want to come out and play?
Yeah, I should put on outside clothes though.
Yeah.
I'll be out in a sec.
Okay.
Coop
Uh,
gets changed and then leaves his house and goes without even thinking about it, just running right across the street. Doesn't
Oh
look.
my God.
I need you to roll me a flight check.
Have you
Don't
learned?
fall down.
Have
Don't
you learned
scrape your
nothing?
knee.
Ba-da-bum, bum,
Young
bum,
man.
bum, bum. Okay, well, at least this time I know flight's a D10, not a D4, so I've got that going for me. Oh, Jake, I exploded.
Exploding
Whoa.
dice.
18.
Whoa.
Okay.
What?
It's like there's some sort of sixth sense as you start to run across the street. You just immediately stop on the center line. And as you do so, you all hear the throaty roar. It sort of idles a little bit as it passes by you, and then you just see that almost slow motion shot. Coop, your reflection. We see you reflected back in the tinted windows and shiny black paint of this muscle car as it just slowly drives by. The window goes zzz, and a cigarette. And then wheels spin and the car takes off, screaming around the bend of this large circular community.
Yeah, that's right. I'm on to you, buddy.
And Rosie would lead to Coop and be like, that was very badass, Coop. Well, everybody, this is very weird. We need to convene about this, but right now I gotta go get my shoes and also my bat.
As Rosie runs out and then runs back in.
Gingerly.
Oak, are you making your way outside?
Yeah, I think after a moment, especially after I hear all of those shenanigans.
You would absolutely hear the engine and the squealing tires, and it would
100%.
sort of be like
100%.
it's kind of like Marty McFly witnessing something happening from a different perspective. You're like, wait, I was there last time and I'm not.
I was down there last time and it already happened. Like, and I think that's what sends him into like.
Yeah, you remember Coop getting almost hit by this car.
Get dressed now sort of like frenzy, and he'll go and he'll get on whatever he can, still kind of dressed in his, like, legitimately most of his clothes are this. It's some form of 80s tee meets some form of Hawaiian shirt meets suspenders and like adventure slacks, and boom, done.
I'm sorry, did you just say adventure slacks?
I said adventure slacks.
Yes.
I don't even care.
His
Not
slacks
shorts.
No.
Adventure slacks.
His slacks specifically for adventure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
They
make
got
sure I
me.
heard that right. I feel like
I think that's a line by Oshkosh Bagosh.
If it's not, it should be.
I'm adding a note.
Don't-
I'm just writing adventure slacks down so future Jake can
Yes.
wonder what that is about.
Don't at me. It's just
I
legit.
think down here we call them Dickies.
Dickies, yes. Yes, you are correct. sir.
Adventure slacks.
Adventure slacks are just like the almost leather, but not quite leather, enough to take some damage. Kind of.
Yeah.
Some people call
Like
them
a Carhartt.
Dickies. Some people call them dungarees.
Dungarees, yeah.
You call
His-
them adventure slacks.
Adventure slacks.
I love
so
that.
he's and then he's got like some sneakers. It takes him a minute to get down, but one of the things too that stalls him is he starts thinking about, oh shit, Jessica had my Polaroid for a long time.
Oh fuck!
Jessica had my Polaroid for a long time. I had my camera, but I haven't had a chance to look at any of the footage that I took for any of it. So there's a moment that he stalls, and if I can, Jake, I'm gonna stop for a second. I'm gonna plug the camera up for just a minute and see what is the last 10, 15, 10 minutes of what I recorded.
Great question. What is it?
Like,
Okay.
what do I see?
Okay.
Or is it all redacted? Because if it's all redacted, I hate it.
So
The
first
government is taking action.
off, as you suddenly stop, sort of running through the living room, you're about to head outside, and then you think, oh, you dig in your bag, and as you're digging for your video camera, you see your Polaroid in your bag. You also see there are 3 or 4 Polaroid pictures.
Ooh, what's on them?
Inside them, you see a picture of, I forget who the picture was of. If it was Laz or Cooper Oak or whoever it was.
There's one of Rosie and Oak playing
Mhm.
ball.
You see
And
that,
something sneaking
and you
up behind
see
Rosie.
you see a shadowy figure behind Rosie.
Yep.
There's a picture of what looks like
Cat?
an open grave with 5 shadowy figures standing around it.
Yes.
There's
Horrifying.
a picture of a cat.
Laz's hand.
Yep, Laz's hand. There's a picture of a cat, and one of the first pictures, so it would actually be the last picture you see, is the view of the Polaroid camera held at arm's length as
Oh.
Jessica took a picture of herself.
We should
Takes
call
the
that
first
something.
selfie. Wow, that's great.
But then you do find your video camera, and of course you have all the cables needed, probably neatly wound up with the little twist ties. And
If Oak is anything but OCD, I will quit this
Oak's
game right
cable
now.
management.
in
game.
fact, I would dare say Oak probably still has them in their original Ziploc bag that they came in when you bought it.
Oh my god.
As you sort of take a moment and undo this and carefully and you hook it up, you rewind. You do the classic TV trope of randomly rewinding an indeterminate amount of time and exactly ending up where you wanted to. And as you press play, you see everything seems to be static.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. That's what I wanted to know.
No,
As you
1880
reach-
something
As you
footage,
reach
huh?
for the stop button,
Nothing.
very shaky found footage. You see a quick glimpse, canted sort of Dutch angle of the lighthouse, and you see this like a scene from a monster movie, this giant
Oh,
figure,
yes.
and then you see as Coop is running towards the creature. You swing the camera around just in time to see Rosie dashing
Oh,
through the
Rosie.
sand with something silver glinting off the sunlight in her hands, looking right at the camera going, go, go, go.
Action movie star right there. Done.
So
Badass.
most of the footage appears to be gone except for that little segment.
Just the segment. Oh my god, that's so good though.
That's awesome.
I wasn't going to do you like that. I was going to have everything be
say,
good.
Oh,
This
that
isn't
would've been
Contact.
Such a rip-off.
In that revelation, I think he has enough context. So he just like he closes the camera, he packs up everything, and then he'll head out to greet everybody. He has his bag. He has everything. Oh, one of the things I want to know is, do we have our bikes? Do we have our thing? Because the last time I remember I left my bike, I left it at the bookstore. If someone stole my bike.
Everybody left their bikes at the bookstore.
Yep.
Fuck, we gotta walk.
So,
Not
yeah,
that far.
my question,
Do we though?
is-
Did anyone check?
do
I don't
we
know if
have...
it's-
No,
That's
nobody's
a
checked
question,
yet. Oak's the first person that's checking.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go check and see if my bike's still there.
So you go through the kitchen.
I'll go through the garage, sir. I will go through the garage.
Yeah, you go
with
through
my
the
bike
kitchen
with
to
me.
the door that leads into the garage. And
Oak's grandparents have an attached garage.
all of
He's
these
so rich.
all of these houses are like that.
you know it's a one-story Rambler. It's all one thing.
That's true.
You flick on the light as you go into the garage, and you see over in the corner the empty space where your bike would normally be.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Now I'm mad. Now I'm just mad in general.
It'd just be kids no bikes if you switch
Kids-
the 2 letters.
Kids on feet.
Kids without bikes.
Kids no bikes.
Kids. So
Kids
yeah,
on
Oak will-
foot.
Oak will dejectedly sort of like head out a little bit. Like,
Do you go out through the garage door?
I go out through the garage door.
You all hear the as the door raises, and you see Oak standing, looking kind of dejected, but with his familiar pack and standing there all dressed up in his adventure slacks.
his action slacks. That's the best.
As soon as
Something very
Oak
different.
moseys up to the group, Rosie gives him a slug on the shoulder, probably a little too hard, and say, "Why the long face, kid? You look like somebody shot your dog."
My bike's gone. Is your bike gone?
Duh, we
Shit.
left it at the bookstore. Why would it be back?
Well,
Cool. Well, I mean, if it's not here, then that means maybe we left it at the bookstore. But
speaking of the bookstore, where's Jessica?
Coop looks around, see if he can spot a white cat.
Tell you what. Roll me. I'm going to use my white dice for this because that's appropriate.
Oh,
What is that?
secrets. While Jake is trying to see numbers, check us out on spring.com, teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of new logos and great things for the DM, the druid, or the barbarian in your life. Teespring.com. Just search Mini Terrain Domain.
Roll a D100.
Ooh.
D'Amico.
Who, me? Okay.
There is a chance of you seeing a white cat.
64.
I rolled 58. You look over in the direction of the house that you know to be Jessica's grandparents, and sitting on the front stoop is a white Persian cat.
That's Jessica.
I think Jessica's right there. Does it? I don't know. Does it look smug? Does the cat look smug?
I mean,
Cats all kind of look smug, don't they?
as you say that, the cat just looks at you and blinks very slowly.
Mew.
Mew.
Yeah. That vocal fry, though. Yeah.
Yeah, the cat totally sounds like yeah.
Yeah. Ah, shit. Yeah, I think you might be right, kid. Well, I mean, we gotta go get our bikes. The day is young. I mean, I guess we gotta walk, right? Except you, huh, Darth Vader? You get to take that board.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real sad about that. But if everything that we went through is real and all, that bookstore has like witches in it.
It's also got our bikes in it, and our bikes are out front. We don't have to go in. If you're really afraid of the little old ladies, we don't have to go inside.
We could just be casual about it. Stroll up, grab the bikes, and go.
Well,
Mhm.
what about this group makes you think casual?
Good point.
If not who we, think they are, didn't one of them say, like, they were landing here 100 years ago?
What?
I don't remember that. I mean, did they say that?
I went over and talked to the captain, and she was talking about meeting up with her 3 sisters.
Oh, you mean like in 1880 something?
She wasn't the captain,
Oh.
but you did talk to Christina.
Well, sorry.
Oh,
Christina.
one of the pirate ladies, huh?
Yes.
Oh. Well, shit. That changes things. You think it was one of them? Are they that old?
Well, I mean, they are pretty old. That's the least weird thing that I can think of that happened.
That would make
I mean-
them like vampire old, though.
Weird question for you all. Do you remember the interview?
I think
No.
the only one who might raise his hand to that is Oak, because Oak's like, "Yo, bro, I'm right there with you. I know, like."
Laz
agree
and
with your
Rosie in
conspiracy.
unison. Laz and Rosie in unison, just both no.
White room, weird voice, asking questions about the other kids.
No, so
No.
those bikes. Are
I think we should
probably
go get
kinda
our
far,
bikes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Darth
We should
Vader, walk
probably
with
get
me.
going.
I'm sure these guys will catch up. And
All
Rosie
right.
just starts walking
Yeah,
down the
sure.
street. Grabs her backpack. She had her backpack with her.
And
So I'll turn to Oak. So you remember?
Yeah, I do. I got proof. I mean, not everything, but I got proof of some stuff.
What do you remember?
Well, I definitely remember us. I definitely remember us going back in time. And
No, I mean about the white room.
Well, it's fuzzy, but I wrote down spiders. There's television. I was real mad at Laz for some reason. I'm still real mad at him. And then they asked me. I remember them asking questions, but I don't remember everything. But yeah, I remember some people asking questions about stuff.
They seemed like they wanted to know about our relationship, and they said something about like being together for years.
Well, that's just silly because I barely know you.
I don't understand.
There's a
I
moment.
imagine we're having this talk
Yeah.
while we're walking.
There's a moment where he's side eyeing Billy while they're having this conversation, and then like just casually out of the blue, he just asks,
Hey, so Billy, let me ask you a question. What's your feeling on full moons?
I like the light.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Coop, Describe
Yes.
for me, Coop, some type of muscle car from, it could be 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, but anything that's pre-1980 something. Bingo.
1970s Dodge Dart.
Wow.
What color?
Light blue, like a faded blue, because that paint's going.
Now this is a muscle car that is well taken care of. So this would
the
be
blue is intact.
So this would
Yes.
be this would be a car that is well taken care of. And this one has the rear end is raised a little bit, as it's got these big old 50 series like racing slicks on the back. They're too wide. It looks like the back end's been hubbed out a little bit for them. And you see it come down the little entry ramp to the retirement community, and you just see it as it drives really slow to avoid that sort of where Laz, you came around on your skateboard, where it sort of, they don't want to bottom out, they don't want to scrape their bumper as they go down, and as soon as they're clear, they turn right away from you all, but there's just a quick squawking of the tires and a vroom, vroom, as they're revving the engine as they idle through and around, disappearing behind some trees in the green space. Moments later, Laz and Rosie, you're the first. You also saw that. Obviously, you all saw that, but you see Laz and Rosie, another vehicle coming down that hill. This one scrapes its front chrome bumper on the pavement. It is a van, or more of like almost like an ice cream truck. It's not an ice cream truck, but it's like an ice cream truck. And it scrapes as it comes down into that little area. And then you see, as it stops, you see the driver in the vehicle sort of looks and sees you, and it's a woman, and her eyes just light up, and she kind of looks over at something inside, and she presses a button, and you hear ice cream truck music.
Oh,
as she
my
turns
God.
this big wheel and comes alongside all of you, and the music, as she comes to a stop, the music kind of goes as she's hitting something, and it's kind of like
Yes.
And in that moment, for just a moment, there's a little bit of feedback from the speaker that's sitting up on top, and all of you have a quick flash of memory from hearing the feedback of your interviewer in this interrogation sequence. And then it's gone, and you see this van that's pulled up that it looks like an ice cream truck, but instead of types of ice cream painted on the side, there are scenes of all like airbrushed, like classic 1980s style, like at the carnival, airbrush
Like carnival
scenes
rides.
of like a beach with a lighthouse on it that you recognize as Candle Point Lighthouse. There's the bluffs. You see a scene of the downtown area. You see another scene of like cherry trees. You see there's one scene, in fact, the scene on the beach with the lighthouse, you can see there's some little silhouettes of people that are hanging out on the beach. And then across the top, it says, "Welcome Wagon." And then below where the ice cream thing would be, where you would get your ice cream, it says, "Welcome to Paradise, Michigan." Just as the door, it's one of those that kind of rolls up
Hell yes! And Rosie runs up to the window.
And you see
immediately.
a woman who looks to be in her mid-30s. She has her sort of long dark hair pulled back into a loose ponytail. She's got a pair of sunglasses that are perched up on top of her hair with some not terribly large, but large bangs that are poofed up a little bit. And in fact, her ponytail looks like it's probably been crimped. And she is all smiles as you come running up. Oh my goodness!
Rosie has very quickly pulled out money.
Oh my goodness. I had heard there were gonna be some new kids in Paradise, Michigan today, and I was hoping to catch you before you all took off on your journeys around our fine town. Oh, young lady, your money's no good here. This here's the welcome wagon.
There's no ice cream?
Do you have domain pops? Terrain treats? Anything?
Do not have ice cream. Do not have domain pops. I'm sure that's something you could probably get at the village grocery store in the ice cream aisle. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe Sweet Paradise Candy Store has some of that kind of stuff. Sorry to say, this is not an ice cream truck. I know what it looks like. It's the welcome wagon. My job... Oh, I'm so sorry. Silly me. My name is Darla Stapler. And I am here to personally welcome each and every one of you to Paradise, Michigan. Where are you coming from?
I'm from Reed City.
Reed City, okay. Michigan local. Anybody else here from Michigan? Elsewhere in our fine state? Oh yeah, I see you holding up your hand there. Where in Michigan are you from?
Oh my God.
So where would be the nearest city to Paradise?
The nearest city would probably be Traverse City.
So
It's only like 20 miles away, I think. What about you, son? Looking over at both Coop and Oak, not distinguishing which one of you she's talking to. Where are you from?
I'm from Seattle, ma'am. It's a
You've come
coastal
from a
town.
long ways away.
Yeah, it's a coastal town. Nobody really knows about it.
Oh, I've heard of Seattle. I've heard of Seattle.
Best kept secret.
Small little beach town out in North Carolina, sir.
From one beach town to another.
Yeah,
Did you say sir?
I did accidentally.
Oh, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. And you looking so serious there. Where might you be from? Looking at you, Laz.
I'm from New York.
New York City. Well, you don't say. Well,
For one.
Get a rope.
I dare say you might find this town just a little bit slower paced than you're used to.
You can say that again. But please don't.
Well, you might find this town to be a little slower paced than you used to. And she gives you a wink. She gives you a wink as she says it.
Yes, I know.
Did you figure out where you're from, Billy?
Yes.
Or was it Traverse City?
Traverse City.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Traverse City, just up the road a piece, as they say. Well, you're no stranger to cherries then, are you? Now, I don't have ice cream, but I do have fresh, sweet black cherries. And she pulls out a couple of those little cartons, like you'd find at a roadside stand. And she just sets them up. Help yourself. Now, mind the stones. They got pits in them.
Does this woman look familiar?
Define familiar.
I mean, somebody else has given us cherries and told us to mind the stones and
Allow me to consult my notes.
Oh, I know. Oh, I get it.
the matronly woman.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps is this a, I don't know, descendant?
Wasn't that one of the wishes?
No.
Isn't that who gave us
Actually, I believe it was either Christina or Yvonne who arrived with an apron full of cherries.
Yes. Huh.
So if it's Christina, she's also part of the group. If it was Christina, she's also part of the group that was going to her sisters and the bookstore. If it's Yvonne, then different.
Rosie kind of
If she's an alleged witch.
If she's
Rosie-
a witch.
is reaching for these cherries, and then when she says mind the stones, you see Rosie kind of like hesitate. And
You
then she just
give
kinda
me
shakes it off
give
and
me a
keeps going.
brains look. Give me a brains look. Give me a brains roll.
I'll give you a look.
Coop's eating the cherries. He doesn't care. It's food.
Oh,
You
I'm
put
gonna eat
food
the
in front of
cherries.
Coop, he's eating it.
I got a 4.
God, is this one I can take 10 on? Take half?
You can.
Say that again.
Is this a roll that we can take half?
Yeah.
So I'll take a 10 on a brains check if I'm allowed to roll.
Okay. Rosie,
Mhm.
you have that fleeting moment of when she says that, and it sounds familiar, but you look at her, and she just looks like a friendly, kind of a soccer mom type.
Oh, awesome.
And you just kind of shrug it off, and you go and help yourself to some cherries. Billy, she does look vaguely familiar. It's not a like on the nose, like this is definitely somebody you know, but there's a familiarity about her. Well, actually, Rosie and Billy, does anybody else run up? Coop, you were getting cherries. Coop, make me a brains check.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll
do
say
that for
Oak
ya.
and Laz go ahead and do so as well.
Was it brains checks?
Brains?
Yes, brains.
Six.
Checks, okay. Brains.
Can I? What can I? Oh, actually, you know what? Never mind. I read that wrong. I read that entirely wrong. Okay, never mind. I got a 17 on the die.
Oh, okay.
don't
Did you
know
say
why-
17?
I don't know why I thought that was a 3 for a second, but I got a 17 on the die.
Wow.
My
I get 3s and 7s confused all the
My
time.
eyes were like, "Oh, where is that landing?" And then I looked at where the flat part was, and I was like, "Oh no, that's 17."
And-
We're good.
Ah.
Laz, what'd you get?
I exploded and got an 11 total.
Okay.
Ooh.
And Coop got a,
got a
6.
six.
So you all notice this. That as you're standing there, you're sort of standing next to this scene to the left of the window. And in fact, the scene that's painted, the scenes that are painted on here have a vague arrangement that as you're looking at this window, it's as if you were looking at from the Lake Michigan to the Lakeshore, geographically where the town would be, the lighthouse, all this stuff. So the lighthouse sits sort of on the left-hand side of this window, and there's a little bit of the beach scene, and you can see that there are 6 figures on the beach. And all of you notice that these 6 silhouettes are oddly familiar. But it's Oak. Without a doubt, you recognize your own silhouettes painted on this this mural on the side of this van. Now listen up. We've got a lot of wonderful stuff here in town. There's no reason for you kids to have any shortage of anything to do. There's lots of things you can do and see that are going to be educational and fun. Of course, there's the beach. If you're into reading, there's the Paradise Public Library. If you want something a little bit newer, you might want to check out the bookstore. We've got, I already mentioned, Sweet Paradise Candy Shop. And of course, if you want to get a little more I wouldn't say healthier food, but you can head on over to Littlefinger Frank's for some hot dogs. He's got some wonderful concoctions, that man. If you find yourself in a bit of a scrape, be sure to stop by the Paradise Health Clinic. They can fix you up right quick.
Yeah, where are your doors made?
I'm sorry, did you ask about my doors?
Yeah. The doors all around town, you know, they all seem to be green. The same kind of door almost. Like, I figured you guys must have gotten like I don't know, like a discount or something to buy bulk.
Well, that's a rather peculiar observation to make.
You're driving around in a painted van.
Oh, it's a welcome wagon. What would you expect? I mean, I look out here and I do see that the Twilight Grove houses, they were all made by the same construction company. And I'm sure there was some kind of a deal there, but I can't say that I've noticed a whole lot of green doors with brass handles around town.
The lighthouse, the bookstore, the gas station, the cemetery, the church.
It could be a coincidence, Laz. Here, have some cherries.
Listen up. It's good to see that you all are extremely inquisitive. Let me give you... Oh, a question. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Are there any places where you can buy books, like a bookstore?
I told you, if you wanted to buy some books, go to the bookstore.
What's the bookstore called?
The bookstore is called Pages.
How long's the bookstore been there?
Oh, well, I've been here in town since I was a little girl, so at least 32 years.
Cool.
Now listen.
Just curious, thanks.
She kind of leans forward and she says, I've got some gifts for y'all. It's part of the welcome wagon. Don't worry, it's the Paradise Chamber of Commerce that pays for all these things. And she reaches down behind the counter and she pulls out these small white bags. They've been rolled over and stapled shut. Each one looks the same. She sets them up on top and says, you're going to find some goodies. I'll just stuff kind of local to the town here. But yeah, be sure to enjoy these things. And she kind of leans in towards you a little bit, Laz. If you're the type to notice peculiarities around town, things that seem a little out of the ordinary, perhaps I could interest you in stopping by on a Tuesday night to the Paradise Public Library. Come around back. You tell them Darla Stapler told you it was all right. There's a group of us that meet to talk about some of the things that are pertinent in the town, kind of a hobby, so to speak. Just things that we notice around town. If that's the kind of thing that you take interest in. And she kind of pushes the bags forward. And I will say, for the time period, this is absolutely something you've probably seen in a variety of stores, because I remember these being popular when I was a kid. They look like grab bags.
Oh yeah, Coop
Like
absolutely
mystery grab
grabs
bags.
one. Because you know what? Stranger danger isn't a big thing yet. So it's okay.
Dare has not come to pass yet, so we're all about. Oh, thank you, random stranger. I will gladly take this.
It's not a random stranger. It's the welcome wagon. It's Darla
Man, we're not
Stapler.
getting in the van. You know, we're just taking presents from the van.
Darla, you.
Well, thank you, ma'am. And I want to open the bag immediately and look at.
You open up the bag, and inside you find a small wrapped bundle of hard candies and chocolates with the logo Sweet Paradise Candy Shop on them.
Aww.
You find a coupon for one free hot dog at Little Finger Frank's.
Yeah.
Y'all probably want to write this stuff down.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to read. Oh, there we go. Band-Aids and sunscreen from the Paradise Health Clinic. SPF 30. There's a toothbrush and some floss from Dennis H. Lachlan DDS. There is an application for a library card and the summer reading program at the Paradise Public Library. There's a sticker that has the state of Michigan. It's in the shape of the mitten, but in big red letters it says yes, and then with an exclamation point, and then Michigan. Carrie knows that's the 1980s slogan for Michigan was yes, Michigan.
Yes, Michigan!
And in the very bottom of the bag, Rosie,
Yeah.
you find a die-cast miniature of your own bicycle.
What?
Anybody else looking in their bags?
Well, now I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
Laz did not take a bag.
Okay.
No free
That's
hot dog
definitely
for
not
you,
something-
bro.
It's too cool for school. He would not have done that.
Every one of you,
You're missing out on opportunities.
every one of you discovers the same exact coupons, all that stuff. And you each find a die-cast miniature of your own bicycle.
I imagine that when Coop picks his up, one of the handlebars falls off.
Oh,
It just does
damn.
that thing where the handlebars go. "Broop."
Oh.
Except
What?
for Oak. You have all of the same contents that everybody else has. But there is a folded piece of paper inside. And it has written on the outside of it in neat block letters O-A-K.
Oh.
Do you
That's your
open
name.
Do you open the note?
Apprehensively, yes. I don't know what's. Is it a folded note? Like, is it some like?
It's just folded over one time.
origami, like-
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not
I'm,
like a
over
school
here being
note.
Like,
No, it
if I choose red, blue, green.
right. No, you just open it up, and as everybody else, Laz is standing there all rebellious, not taking, too good to take any of these things, and the others are sort of looking through and either eating their candy or looking at their stuff, whatever. We see Oak as you pull out this piece of paper, and as you unfold it, it says, in the same block letters, there are 3 lines. They know you are here. They are watching you. Don't trust Lazarus. And that's where we're going to take our break.
What is this wedge being driven between us?
God.
Damn, don't trust Jessica, don't trust Laz. Well, us 4 can be trusted, so let's stick together.
All right, we're going to
Allegedly.
take about a 10-minute break, and we will be back in just a few minutes. All right. You have just seen this note. As you read this note, Oak, and you see that it says, don't trust Laz. Laz, what are you doing as you're not participating in the grab bags and everybody seems to be digging in and grabbing candy and stickers and what have you?
Like any person, or specifically a 15-year-old with a skateboard, he is not holding still. He is skating the entire area around the truck, jumping the curb, running up and down the sidewalk, waiting for the moment when they can finally move on from this ridiculous person.
Make either a flight or brains check, your choice, to represent your skateboard skill. This is not for a single thing. This is just for how well you perform as you're skating around the truck.
Damn,
So,
let's see. Okay.
While he is out there skating, can I say to Darla, I'll take this one for him and just and put the extra bag in my bag in case he wants the, a snack later or any of that?
She looks at you for a moment, then looks over at Laz. And then sort of, as she does so, there's this weird moment. There's this very pregnant pause as she does this. And then she looks at you and goes, of course, son. Go right ahead. Take one for your friend.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I got a 3 total.
Oh, God.
A 3 total?
Yeah. Yeah, not great.
It's not enough for you to like wipe out or anything, but you all see Laz skating around, and Laz is pretty balanced on the skateboard, and seems to do all right. But as he's trying to do some of these kicking up onto the curb and kick flips and things like that, there's a lot of sound of the skateboard clattering to the ground as you sort of stumble forward. It's less about a lack of skill and more about being distracted. Well, remember, if you got any questions about any of the weird stuff you see, come to the library on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Tell them Darla Stapler sent you. Otherwise, welcome to Paradise, Michigan. And just like that, and you hear a little bit of shifting as she moves around to the front, and she sits in the front seat, and this always happens. Goddamn son of starts it up, and she drives off around the circle, and you keep hearing this. And eventually she comes around the far side, and then there's that scraping sound as she goes up the little hill and heads out onto the highway and turns towards town.
Okay.
She seemed nice.
Did the blue car that preceded her ever come back around?
Neither did the black one in the other direction. Both the black and the blue cars went around in opposite directions at different times, but neither of them came around the other way.
Huh. That was nice. We should go get our bikes. And Rosie just keeps walking down the road.
God, this place sucks. Laz has the turns a skateboard to follow.
You're the one person in the world who could be given a bag of candy and goodies and treats and be like, this place sucks.
I don't got no bag. I didn't take nothing from that lady.
Yeah, I saw. It was literally candy and goodies, and you were just like, I don't want one.
And there was this really neat little figurine of my bike and mine. It's broken.
I had one on my bike too.
What, really?
I mean, I thought it was just, it looked like my bike, but then I was just like, oh, it's probably just a bike. It's probably just a coincidence, but.
Oh, I want to see yours. Here, hold on, I'll show you mine. And Coop pulls his out and holds it up, and the basket falls off. Oh.
It's even got little tiny streamers on one of the handlebars. You can even see, like on the other handlebar, it's got where, when the handlebar goes, the little grip gets pushed too far and the little metal sticks out the end. It's got that little flap of rubber. It's even got that.
Rosie's has the thing for her basket, or like the crate, like how like some people can put like a milk crate on the back of their bike. It has a spot, but there's no crate on it, just like her current bike. Like, yeah, mine looks just like mine too.
I thought with the the free hot dogs, we could go there for lunch, and because of that, Laz, I grabbed one for you. You want it? I got it.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Billy. He kind of glares at Rosie for a second.
Don't eat it, whatever you do. It would hurt your image. And Rosie kind of chuckles to herself and like turns.
Right.
It is like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Any time of the day is a good time for malted milk balls from Sweet Paradise.
Yeah. If you don't know, you don't know. God, Jace, where you've been living under a rock? Get out of here.
Legit.
Just gonna point out also that if we decide to stop at Frank's for lunch later,
Yes. We have a
Laz
coupon.
will have an opportunity to vandalize that sign.
Oh.
Does it have a hot dog on the sign?
You won't know until you get there.
We saw it already.
We saw it earlier. Yeah.
Oh, we did?
And
Oh yeah, you did. That's right.
You mentioned vandalizing at the very first.
Yeah, that's right.
episode.
That's
That's
right.
right. Yes.
I have to go back
I
and
knew I
remember how I
mentioned
described
vandalising
that.
one sign. Now I remember.
It was very phallic, and yeah. So Rosie says to Coop, "It's like, well, that's really cool. You should hang on to that."
I feel like it probably had a slogan like "Everybody wants my wieners."
Something like that. There was something like that. I don't remember what it was.
If I'm thinking it now, I probably thought it then.
Yes.
D'Amico's going to the record, the court record.
Billy, did you have a bike too? Oak, did you have a little bike in yours?
I'll pull out my bike.
Cool.
It's your bike.
That's really cool. Oak, yours had that little flag on it, right? Did yours have a little flag on it? Your thing in your bag?
You could see that Oak is like really distracted in this moment. Like he seems really like he's usually really present in the moment, and right now he's like very distant and vacant. And he's like looking between you and Billy. He's looking between the teams, right? He's looking between you and Billy, and then Laz, and then just like,
Oak.
I didn't get one, but that's okay. That's okay. I
You
mean,
didn't get.
my
Well,
bike's
here, Oak, you can have mine.
No. I don't. It's fine. I don't need it. I just.
and he kind of for a moment, he hugs you, Rosie. For just a moment, he hugs you. I'm just.
They're there.
No,
I kind of look around at the others, like.
I just.
So, are you okay?
You look pale.
I'll be
Paler.
fine. I'll be fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's just nice to have everybody back, I guess, you know?
Yeah. And Rosie would, like, at this point, kind of like, she would just kind of be like surprised and stunned in this moment, but then like
Thank you, Jake.
she would
for
give him
con-
like
for-
one
thank you
little
for
squeeze.
clarifying. I was under the impression that I didn't get a bike.
No, you did get a bike.
That I got the note instead.
I
But
was under
I-
that impression as
You
well.
also got the note.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So then, yeah, he would detract that and say, "Yeah, I got one." Too.
He feels something all of a sudden in the bag that
But
he
I
didn't
feel
feel the first
something.
time.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
yeah.
no, I didn't.
I-
Wait,
oh,
wait,
wait,
it was
look.
under here under the bonbons.
I got it. I got it.
In
It's
the
fine.
coupon.
Oh, cool. Oh, good.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got one.
Yeah.
As you pull it out, there's a little miniature flags kind of swinging
Yep,
back and
the little
forth, like.
the little miniature
brrrr.
flag. Yep.
That it, Rosie, can I? She would look at Oak and she's like, "Can I see it?"
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
That is metal as hell. Literally. And she would like flick the little flag and be like, "That is so cool." How did they know?
Rosie,
Yeah.
since you're holding it up really close and looking at it, and Oaks is a little bit bigger than everybody else's because it's a trike, you
Oh, yeah.
see that there is, you can see in the basket that's on the back of this trike that there's a what looks like a sticker or a piece of paper or something, but it's actually on the underside of the basket. And if you flip it over and look at it,
I do.
There is a very small, kind of like you would find on any kind of a handmade toy or something like that. It's like the craftsman's logo. It says in very small letters, there's an ampersand, and then above and below it are the words Betty and Jude's.
Oh. Holy shit.
Which,
Oh, look at that detail there, man.
when you were on your ride around town, I threw out a bunch of names of stores. You did see, like, 1 or 2 doors down from Page's bookstore, there is a store called Betty and Jude's Crafts and Hobbies.
Cool. Oh my god. So they made. Oh my god. I said, guys, after we go get our bikes, we should check out that craft store. I bet they made these. I want to know how they made them of all our bikes so fast.
Sure.
So I did want to ask a question. I thought of this at break, and I will allow this retcon if somebody would have done it. Did anybody grab a bag for Jessica?
Oh.
I guess I probably would have.
I know how it is when we're down a player. You sort of meta knowledge. We know they're not there, so we don't interact with them. So I wanted to give you an opportunity that if somebody would have grabbed one, you absolutely can have grabbed a bag for Jessica.
Rosie thinks of others, specifically Jessica.
In hindsight, when reminded.
After, yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. Listen here.
and Billy did specifically ask, can I grab one for a friend? So if
Maybe
Rosie wanted,
Rosie. I was
have it.
gonna say Rosie probably heard him and went, "Oh," and same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Good looking out, y'all.
Well, I'm okay
Yeah.
with going wherever y'all want to go. But
And there's this moment where I think he looks at Laz and like starts to hang back a little bit from the group afterwards. Like we all kind of either decide where we're going or whatever, and as he does so, he'll kind of eject himself a little bit further back from the group a little bit.
It's a real bummer that we don't have that map anymore.
What map?
The map from the lighthouse. It had the whole town.
You mean this one?
What?
Nice, Jake. Hell yeah, producer MVP.
Johnny on the
Yes!
spot.
Oh
For
my
re-
gosh.
For reference, that map is also available in high resolution in the public Discord for Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. If somebody wants to type !
Check it
Discord,
out.
you can get a link to our Discord channel and join us over there.
Yeah. I remember there was all this stuff written on here and like books. That must be the bookstore?
Yeah. And then it says trains. That's probably Betty and Jude's. Those hobbyists, they like trains. I don't get it.
Lake Monster.
I think we know who that is, huh? And Rosie kind of like jokes around like punching Coop. Doesn't actually touch it.
So I don't know what any of you have any interest in doing after we get our bikes, besides going over to the crafty store or whatever have you. But there's lots of fun things on this map that I would have some interest checking out.
Call me rebellious. Right? This isn't Rosie, this is Carrie. But Rosie does have a trait that says rebellious. Because I'm a teen, I would say. I mean, I don't want to get anybody in any trouble or anything, but that mark that says stay away. That looks cool.
That's all the way back up by the grandparents' house, by the
It's
we'd
out.
have to go all the way down to get the bikes and then all the way back, and poor Coop, his
we don't-
his
yeah.
little
Never mind.
face.
Never, Coop. No.
I mean,
Hey,
just
we got a long summer. We'll
just
do
so
it a
you
different
know,
way.
the distance to the stay away from where you currently are as you're leaving the Twilight Grove senior living community is like a quarter mile.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it's kind of uphill from where we are, right?
It is. We went downhill towards the beach. We'll do it another day, Coop. Hey, it's a
If we're
long summer.
going- And if we're going all the way to the books, you know, we're traversing a lot of the map before we get to, you know, so we have to backtrack all the way there. So
I mean, this map from the beach to stay away is like 2 miles, just so you have a clear scale reference.
Well, what about this? That gal, you know, what was her swing line? What was her name? Something.
Stapler?
Oh yeah. Well, what if we go check out that place that she said? I know it's not Tuesday and I know it's not night, but what if we go check that place just to kind of scope it out in case we ever want to
Isn't
hit
it
up the
just
secret
the
meeting?
library?
It's the public.
It was
library.
behind. It was
Oh,
behind.
We gotta
the
go.
library.
We gotta go.
It was the library.
It's like a speakeasy. But
Yeah.
for libraries.
Out back. I just want to
Well,
look at the
but,
place. I just want to scope it out.
Let's go find the bikes, and maybe we can try to ask around about some place where maybe we can, I don't know, sell some of those silver bars or something. You know, look, some of us have stuff that we gotta buy.
You should just
No.
put it inside your coat, like those guys on TV, and then you can be like, "Want to buy some silver?"
Coop, does your love of rocks and minerals extend to precious metals and things like that?
And fossils.
Also,
Coop,
And false fossils, but no, I actually don't think it would extend to like the ins and outs and the quality of like gold, silver, etc.
okay.
I'm
be
a
fair.
child.
Hold
I'm
on,
a child. I'm not an
let me
appraised.
pull out my jeweler scope.
jeweler's loop. Actually,
you
this
never
is,
know-
very low purity.
You never know what
I'm a
kid
junior
keeps.
jeweler. We're on the market.
You never know
It
what-
was a fair ass.
What kid is going to keep track of the current market price of gold, silver, and copper?
Coop pulls
Probably
a bar out and
oak.
just bites it.
rich. And Rosie actually at this point would kind of pull her silver bar out of her backpack, and she would hand it to Laz, and she'd be like, "Well, you seem like the kind of guy who could find a market for this kind of thing." And she would like hand it to him and just be like, "If you do, I mean, cut me in, and if you get in trouble, you didn't get it from me."
Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay. Thanks. He kind of says, like, hefting the weight of it before he puts it in his backpack.
So Laz now has 1 silver ingot, and Billy has the other 2.
either one.
There were 3
I-
total.
But I believe we lost one to the
We
sand.
lost one to the sand.
Did you?
For,
The-
for narrative purposes.
The butt ingot fell out in the sand.
Oh yeah,
butt ingot
sorry,
fell
I
out of my
forgot about that.
pants.
That's right.
Uh,
Oh,
That was
no.
something that I elected to do. Because
That's right,
characters.
Yep.
The butt ingot. Yes, indeed.
Very well. All right. So what's the plan? Where are you heading?
No, still
The bookstore.
Thanks. Yep.
Well, thanks to our wonderful friend. Is that
Ooh-wee, look at
our
all
wonderful
that
friend
fun.
Anonymous? Has
Wow.
gifted 5 community subs. So thank you, anonymous donor.
Thank you. Wow.
That's another 5.
Domain pops, terrain treats. Terrain treats, domain pops, rather.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very kind.
This is moving up on par with what a Thursday night's domain dice
Yeah.
should look like.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So where are you all headed?
The bookstore.
The
To get
bookstore.
the bikes.
To get our bikes.
All right. So you are heading on foot. It'll take you about probably about 15 or 20. I'm actually going to say it's probably going to take you closer to 20 minutes or so if you're all staying together, because
That's my bad.
Oak and Coop move a little slower.
It's fine.
As you head out and start walking along M22 and making your way past an area of new construction, you see as you come around the curve, there is, off on the left-hand side of the road, you can see a church and a cemetery, and you see a familiar-looking man with shaggy blonde hair, sticking about waist deep out of a grave as he is just throwing shovelfuls of dirt. There is no sign of any kind of police tape or anything indicating any disturbed graves at this church. And as you continue walking, you see at the back of the church a familiar looking man in Pastor Andy Hill comes walking out and is carrying a pitcher and a couple glasses, and he walks over to where the groundskeeper is digging and pours a couple glasses of lemonade for himself and Simon. And as he is taking a sip of his lemonade,
I don't like it. Nope, I don't like it.
he just gives you a friendly wave and then turns to Simon and starts talking to him. They're close enough that you can hear their voices, but they're far enough away that you have no idea what they're talking about. You continue walking along a few more blocks. You do see on sort of off to the right of M22, right as you're getting to the main street of downtown, you can see to the east there's a large building that's got a dirt service road that runs behind it, that has a sign painted that says truck entrance, and you can even see a couple of these sort of box trucks and even larger semi-truck, tractor and trailer around the back of this large building. The front part of the building has a manicured lawn with some bushes, a very nice sign that says Paradise Orchards Processing Plant, and above it is the logo, which looks like two side angles of a triangle with two circles that are painted red like cherries, and it's on a green diamond shape. And then, as I said, the name Paradise Orchards Processing Plant. It's exactly in the place on your map that says they control everything.
Jake, does the triangle shape look familiar to me?
Oh, 100%.
What is it? I don't understand.
Coop looks at the sign and his mouth drops open. He goes, "That was tattooed on Croc-Baka's ass with a barcode."
What?
Croc-Baka on the side of his
That
alligator
Yeah,
booty.
tattoo.
was on the.
He had he had the tattoos. Yeah.
No way.
I'm really not that shocked. He could also speak with his mind.
Okay. All right.
Why,
Well,
why would a fruit processing place have a giant alligator monster?
Maybe they're doing more than processing fruit.
Well, the map says they control everything.
I mean, I know not all y'all are from here, but me and Billy are. And Billy, I know you can attest to, the orchards and the cherry trees and all of that stuff. They do kind of control everything, especially up here in a place like Paradise. Everybody probably works at the orchard. You think that's what it mean by they control everything?
Could be more sinister than that. I mean, this place has got all kinds of wacky shit going on.
Well, I heard there was like a murder in the orchards up here. They kind of try to cover it up, but
But
I mean,
This
that
is
could be
the-
that could be entirely possible. I mean, there is a spot on that map that says haunted house. I mean,
out of character,
it could be an urban legend too. I don't know.
it was Jessica who actually got the line in the interview. They control everything.
Is that right? Oh my God!
Yeah, none
I
of
love
you.
Tamiko takes notes.
Yes, none of you actually heard that, but it is on your map. They control
It's on the
everything.
map.
You also notice
It was we control everything in the transcript, but
You also
None of us
notice
would know.
that at this corner where you're looking at and just seeing, just the equivalent of probably, I don't know, 500 meters down the road, you see that processing plant. Equal distance north of you, you can see where shipwreck is marked on your map. You see a sign sticking up in front of a business. It's a straight metal pole, and on top of it is a sign with the very top of it is made to look like rolling waves, and there is the silhouette of a three-masted schooner on top of it, and below it says the Sunken Galley Family Restaurant.
Oh, when we heard about the Sunken Galley, like a pirate themed restaurant.
And then to the west is the main street, which at the end of this street, is the hobby and craft store, the bookstore, and the town square with the gazebo. All marked on your map.
We're there right now.
You are at the corner on the map that's almost where the paper is folded in the middle of the map. That's sort of where you're standing right now. So you're literally at a crossroads of
Perfect.
what you want to do.
Do we see our bikes?
You are like almost 4 city blocks from there.
Okay, sorry.
And there's parked cars on the side of the road and things like that. So, and this is the kind of town where they don't just parallel park; they like have angle parking in parts of the thing. So,
Oh my God. I would just continue down the street towards Pages.
sure.
I don't know if everybody's coming with me, but that's where I'm going.
So, we grabbing our bikes and going, or are we going back in the weird bookstore?
Well, I
We
wanted
don't
to
have-
swing by the hobby store.
we don't have to go in the bookstore. That's all
Yeah.
right.
I'm not going in.
I'm not going in there. And
Just curious.
I mean, not that I'm afraid of the little old ladies or anything, but we just need our bikes.
Works for me.
All right. As you walk down the street, you do see along this street a couple of places, just up almost half the distance to the Sunken Galley, but on the other side of the street is Littlefinger Frank's. On this street, you see there is a sign that points north on the next block that just says Paradise Public Library. You pass by both the Paradise Health Clinic, and right next door to it is Dennis H. Lachlan DDS. Just a small, it almost looks like a house, some of these structures. It's like residential slash business, clearly a business type building. And you're getting to the part of town now where you see can't remember all these names. You see the hobby store. What's it called? Where'd it go?
Betty and Jude's.
Yes, Betty and Jude's Crafts and Hobbies, with that same logo, but it also says Crafts and Hobbies below it. And inside you see a mishmash of, there's like quilts and knitting needles and things, but then you also see like model kits for Battlestar Galactica, hot rod cars, World War II tanks, Star Wars. There's a model of the Enterprise. There's a tall rocket of the Apollo, one of the Apollo rockets. The Saturn V rocket. There's a lunar lander model. You can see through the window that there's on one side of the shop, you see it's all dedicated to crafts. The other side is all dedicated to hobbies. And looking just from the street, you can see through the window, on the back corner as you're passing by, you can see that the one side, the hobby shop side, has a large model railroad set up that runs around the back side. There's even, it looks like there's a few other things in there. From out here, you can't really tell. On this side of the street, or on the south side of the street, across the street from there, and then Pages is right next door, is a small cafe with green and white awning over the front, a couple small metal outdoor tables out front, hand lettered sign that says Jean's Cafe. And then next to that is a larger building called Wayne's Old Town Tavern. And then that's the one where you see there's some neon beer signs and things like that. And it also has right near the front door, there's a sign that very clearly says
no kids after 6
yeah,
p.m.
no kids after 6 p.m.
Jesus, D'Amico. That was impressive. Does that earn us a domain pop?
No, we've got 32 of them.
Okay.
But at this point, as you walk up on where Pages is, you do not see your bikes either on the street or in front of the store.
What?
Think somebody stole them?
Checks the side of the building, because he set his up against the side of the building.
Yeah, I want to look like, is
No
there like an
kickstand.
alley or...
There is nothing to be found.
Shit.
We've been robbed.
You can actually, there is a small alleyway between, just wide enough for a car, between Pages and Betty and Jude's. It's got just wide enough for a car. You can see that Betty and Jude's place has it's a 2-story place, and it has a fire escape with the ladder that's too high up. There's a dumpster sitting right there, and you can see it's just the length of the building, and then it looks like it goes back to where there's parking behind these buildings. But just looking down this little alley, you don't see anything. You're free to explore if you want.
Well, maybe they wheeled him around back. Maybe they found him and put him out back for us. Let's go look, and then we can ask around.
So you're gonna walk down the alley.
Yeah, I would go.
Yeah.
I want to go like around back of this building.
All right.
I don't love it when you say what I said again, and, like as in a like you're clarifying, but
I
not
just want to
really.
make sure before we jump into
Excuse
this.
me, just we're gonna
It's-
pause. You said you want to go down the alley.
It
oh,
is-
Yes. Oh, okay.
it is very close to my version of. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah,
we'd like
I know
to. We'd like to check for traps.
So what I'm hearing is you want to do exactly what you just said you wanted to do.
So wait,
Okay.
Carrie, let me be clear though. Does Rosie go carefully down this alleyway, or does she just
No.
barge down, kicking it
End
open?
of sentence. Rosie has never done anything carefully in her life.
I imagine Billy is right up front, looking for, the bikes. I would even look in the dumpster if need be.
Yeah.
Sure. As you get around to the back side of this and kind of looking around, and you're looking behind pages, you see that, holy crap. Thank you, Hadrian X.
Wow.
Another 5 domain tomes
Thank you,
for the community.
Hadrian X.
Domain pops.
Domain pops. Dang,
Terrain treats domain pops.
I'm messing everything up.
Terrain
This is
treats-
definitely increasing my need to get that D100 table built. I need somebody to help me with that. Anyway, you come around the side, and as you're looking, I'm gonna make you roll because we haven't rolled very much this session.
Okay.
So everybody roll whatever. I'm gonna let you choose what skill you're using as you're looking around this alley. It's understandable that you are all a bit hesitant as you're heading down this alley between buildings with all the weird stuff. So at this point, choose a skill you want to use of your attributes and make a roll.
Everyone?
A skill just to be looking around. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, as you're searching for your bikes.
Oh, okay.
Well, that didn't pay off.
What if
I
we were not
rolled-
looking for our own bike?
I rolled my charm because it's a D20 and I got a 5 plus 1, so I got a 6.
Okay.
But I do also still have my treasure hunter strength. Useful item in the surrounding area.
What do you have to spend an adversity token or something for that?
Oh yes, I have many, for I am Coop.
Right. Yeah, go ahead. Each of you write your skill and the number you got in the chat for me, so I don't try to remember all these. And Coop, you can spend that token and use your treasure hunter ability. Is that a 2 or a -2?
2.
Wait, you
That's
can't
not
get negatives.
possible in this
Yeah.
game.
Not in this game. No negatives.
Side note, I love our professionalism with the hyphens team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tamiko.
Except for Coop.
No.
So,
Thanks, Chad.
let's see. Coop. No, come back to Coop. Laz.
Yes.
Oak. And Rosie. Tell me what it is you're doing as you're making this search.
Rosie is looking at at this point, unfortunately, Rosie is kind of expecting to find parts. Like, she thinks that probably somebody took them apart and took the wheels and took the expensive parts. And so she's kind of looking around for signs of the bike, the cheap shit that street toughs wouldn't want. So she's looking for those kinds of things laying around. So yeah, that's kind of where she's at. So she's looking for kind of clues more than the bikes themselves at this point.
Okay. Laz and Oak.
Yeah, this area that they're entering into looks like a bad situation to Laz. So I rolled grit because he's definitely kind of on edge about what they could be walking into. I definitely don't think that this is the first time that Laz has been in a situation where he's been looking for something like a stolen bike. So he's trying to make sure that this isn't some other situation that they're about to walk headfirst into.
Oak is ever the Batman, ever the detective, and immediately goes into like from the point of view at the beginning of pages down the block at the craft store. Like I'm looking for as we arc into this middle alleyway, I'm looking for any drag marks, I'm looking for any tire scuffs, I'm looking for any sort of like signs of our bikes originally. Especially like Oak. Oak is like, no, that was custom for me. That was made for me. I cannot lose that shit. I need that bike so badly. So he's kind of panicking. He's kind of like panic playing at this point. And he then he's using brains, by the way, to like kind of like just look and be very, very careful, very methodical at looking for any signs of bike. Any signs.
Coop and Billy, neither of you notice anything. Except for you, Coop, because you spent that adversity token. You spot at the back side of Page's bookstore, the very back door of the store is slightly ajar.
Ooh.
It is a green door with a brass handle. And it does have a small sign next to the door that says Page's Bookstore, deliveries only, ring bell for service, and there's a little doorbell, round doorbell there. But the door is slightly ajar with a piece of wood sticking in it. So that's your useful thing that you found, is the open door to the back of the store. The other three of you that were successful, and Rosie, you're the one that makes the initial discovery with that high roll. And it's the smell that hit you first. Black cherry tobacco. Pipe tobacco. And it doesn't smell like old, it smells fresh. And then all of a sudden there's a sudden plume of bluish gray smoke coming from around behind Betty and Jude's. And you come around the corner, and that's when you see there is a patio table in the back of this shop. Betty and Jude's back door is also propped open, and you see a woman in her mid-50s, graying hair, sort of cut short with like waviness coming up top. She's wearing a mint green pantsuit, but that's somehow also casual. And she is smoking a pipe. There is another woman with her hair pulled back into a big messy bun, graying hair, but her back is to you. Oh,
Excuse me.
hello there.
Hi. We were just back here. Did you all see any bikes sitting around? We left our bikes out here just a little bit ago, and we came back for them, and they're gone.
You left your bikes out back here in the alley?
No, we left them on the street. We didn't think
Oh.
anybody'd probably do anything to them there, and sure enough, we came back and they weren't there anymore.
Well, I can't say that I've seen your bikes. What about you, Chrissy? And the other woman turns around, also smoking a pipe, and you see Christina from the beach. But you also, like, your memories coalesce, and she's 100% one of the three sisters that you didn't talk to when you first came to the bookstore. And she looks at you and she says, "Oh, there you are. It's been a while. And don't worry about your bikes. I trust that you have them with you this whole time." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, the little things are our bikes. Oh my god.
My handlebars broke.
I know, as
A bike for ants.
you're narrating all this stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh. I hope they don't start like pulling them apart. And then
They're gonna have
Tamiko's
to,
like, my handlebars broke.
They're gonna have to like super glue the little handle back together. Like,
My
don't
poor-
worry, got
My
it.
handlebars are gonna be all wonky now.
That
And I
is
have no back.
incredible.
You'll have a giant bead of super glue that is attached to the handle when it finally, Honey, I Shrunk
It's
the
gonna-
Kids explodes.
But it's gonna be like the size of like a cantaloupe.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
hilarious.
it's gonna be great.
Awesome.
Um,
Great job, guys. Great job.
no, that was. Hold on a second. I'm getting redlined. Okay. Sorry. Somebody, you guys all went robot for me for a minute.
Ooh.
Yeah, I missed what Ted said.
So I had a sneaky suspicion that that's what Jake was doing. I didn't want to have, Laz not have, Laz was on his
Appreciate
skateboard, so he wasn't gonna, lose out. But just on the off chance.
Good call.
And only because I want to reveal that I wasn't targeting anybody, this index card right here is the note that I rolled a d6 to determine which of you would get the note. And then it says, the last line says, don't trust blank with 1d6 in it. It just worked out that it was Oak and Lazarus, and I couldn't have planned it better myself.
I'm for it. I'm here for it.
Um,
So great.
I know I didn't need to reveal that, but I like to sometimes tip my hand a little bit and show you behind the, what's going on. That
No, you just
I-
made my relationship with him way more complicated. So it's.
I know, I was
It's complicated.
I was very excited when I rolled that die. So,
Awesome,
I'm
guys.
almost more excited to see what you guys get up to now that you have this knowledge that weird stuff is going on, and that you had a little bit of a retcon, but now there's things that what's going on.
Indeed.
And I love discovering this together because I don't know exactly where you guys. I didn't know at the beginning of the session what all you would want to do. I figured you might want to go get your bikes.
Listen, I'm totally 100% joining that after school book club at the library. If I'm not there, there's something wrong with me.
Literally the only thing. Oh, actually, I meant to do this earlier.
Post credit scene.
And it has to do
That's
with
okay.
when Darla introduced herself.
Yep.
Each of you roll me a brains check real quick.
Oh, can doobie.
Nat 20.
No
That's an
way.
explosion.
Well,
Nat 20, it's an
That's an
explosion. Okay. Okay, 27 all up.
3.
While I'm rolling, I'm going to take this opportunity to remind everybody that occasionally Jake likes to put hidden meaning in names. 6.
Thank you.
Okay, so
I already looked to see if it was an anagram, and it doesn't appear to be
it's
one.
not an anagram. It was actually literally told to you on your first day in town when some of the things were listed off that you should check out. One of the things was the old Stapler house. It was, I forget who told you that, whether it might have been Pastor Andy, but in things that were listed, somebody mentioned the Stapler house.
Is
So-
it the haunted house on the map?
Yes.
It's just called the Stapler house. That's all you know. You were told Stapler house, and that.
Oh, I
So-
didn't know if he indicated. Okay.
No, Oak, you're the one that makes the connection that, wait, I know that name. We've heard it before in reference to a house. You can do with that information what you will. I want to say a huge thank you and a shout out to Tamiko, who has created a custom bingo card for this game that's filled with she's going to post the link in the chat before each game and in the Discord, and there's just little things to watch out for, things that we say or things that might happen in a game, and right now they're for funsies, just bragging rights. But thank you, Tamiko, for putting that together, adding a little interactive fun for the audience. Huge thank you to everybody who came in supporting the channel tonight. Lots of subs and gift subs. We love seeing that. Somebody in the chat asked, because I referenced needing to make a table. My intention is to create a D100 table that has some very, very, very bad things, some very, very, very good things, a whole bunch of random stuff and occurrences. I don't really know exactly yet, other than I want you at any time, and this is something I referenced earlier, we do this in our Mythos games, that anybody at any time can make any player roll on the table. Usually to emphasize when a dramatic moment is happening, because then it increases or creates story moments we might not otherwise have. I love tables. I love random roll tables and incorporating them in the stories. I'm terrible at writing tables. So maybe I'll put...
I would say talk to Ricky, but definitely
No. Not for this game. What I might do is in the Discord at some point, when I figure out kind of the ranges of what I want, maybe I'll open it up and we'll turn it into a community thing.
Oh my god, it's fun.
And you can have a chance to add to it. And then, it could even potentially be once your thing is used, I open it up for more things. That could be fun. So I'll look at how to do that, and maybe we can get our audience and community involved in that.
Share the sadism.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you can't all blame me for coming out to get you. No, but seriously, thank you everybody who tunes in to watch with us live on Thursday nights. If you're watching later on VODs, we of course appreciate that as well. If you are somebody that likes to hang out in the chat and listen quietly, you lurk, whatever, we appreciate you all the same. Hadrian, just letting you know I see your comment. I will message you later. In fact, why don't you message me so that I don't forget. So thank you everybody. We truly appreciate. I love seeing the chat just going wild while we're playing the game. I don't always read it because I'm running a game. And I have to keep up with these nutters and what they're putting in our side chat. Don't clutch your pearls.
How dare you?
Don't clutch your pearls. No, but seriously, I absolutely love all the games that we run, but this one is so much different because it's not rooted in fantasy. It's not rooted in a typical D20 system. It's something new and unique, and I love that all of you as the players are fully embracing the weirdness and just really getting into your characters. And we're having fun, but we're also exploring deep character moments, and we're just getting started, baby. I'm looking forward to doing this for a while, and at some point maybe we can have other guest characters come in for shorter arcs. I've already talked to a couple people, including Ricky, Dwight, and maybe a couple other people. So that'll be fun as well to see other aspects. And there's maybe a small town, but there's a lot going on. So again, thank you to everybody in the community here. Thank you all for your support and just being here with us. And of course, a huge thank you to all of you who just make this so special. So thank you, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and even though they weren't with us tonight, they were with us in spirit. Thank you to M, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple of hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
place sucks.